What is going on, guys? Chris here. Welcome back to another video. So I thought today would be the day where we would be able to talk about anything other than FaZe, but that's not today. Because every time I think we kind of are settled down for a bit, more info comes out, and it's very important info pertaining to the last two videos I've done. If you haven't checked out the last two videos I've done, I'm going to leave them in the description down below, links to those videos explaining the whole TFue lawsuit with FaZe Clan, and then yesterday the allegations that this could shut down FaZe Clan and my thoughts on it. But now what we have today is an apparent contract release, TFue's statement last night. So TFue's statement last night, and then this morning, apparently the contract percentages got leaked. These are not confirmed that this is a legitimate contract, so let me be transparent when I say that. It's just leaked onto Twitter right now. I will share it with you guys, but just keep in mind that this is not verified from banks. Banks said they were going to release it later, maybe tomorrow. So I'm going to put, before we get into that, we have to give our shout outs. Shout out to Mixer Creative for the YouTube comment, which I will show here. And also shout out to Cope for retweeting the video yesterday. I try and support the people who support me, so I give shout outs at the beginning of every video if you're new to the channel. So to be eligible for the shout out, all you have to do is leave a like and drop a comment down below, or support the video on Twitter. That's all you gotta do. But let's get into the video. So in the contract, I'm gonna put it right here. Again, disclaimer, this is not confirmed. This is just something that got leaked on Twitter. Keemstar and a few other channels, a few other Twitters, and a few other well-known people shared it. Apparently it got leaked from a non-FaZe member, and what it says here is the TFue and FaZe Clan splits. So the percentage of, if $10,000 came in, the percentage of that, so if obviously TFue, for the first portion here, brand deals that were brought to TFue from FaZe Clan, TFue would retain 20% of that, FaZe Clan would obtain 80%. So obviously, simple math, if FaZe Clan brought a deal of $10,000 to TFue, TFue would consistently get $2,000, FaZe Clan would get $8,000. Not a great deal on the creators end, but we'll touch on my thoughts on the actual contract after. In-game sticker or merchandise, so like Fortnite in-game code usage is maybe what that would be, or if TFue had a skin inside of Fortnite, it would be 50-50. TFue 50%, and then FaZe Clan obviously 50% of the revenue. Brand deals brought in by the gamer, so if TFue brings in a deal just completely on his own, he gets 50%, FaZe gets 50%. Also not great at all. So appearance fees 50-50, so if he's paid to go out to a Fortnite event, or if he's paid to appear anywhere to talk about anything, it's 50-50, FaZe Clan, TFue. Prize, tournament winnings, TFue 80%, FaZe Clan 20%. So immediately looking at this, absolutely terrible on TFue's end. But I think that's what we were going to expect. I think that's the point of TFue releasing a statement. I'm going to link his video down below. He made a quick 1-minute video yesterday explaining his side, which is pretty much it relates to last video I made. He said he talked to the lawyers. He didn't want this in the lawsuit in the first place. He wants the skateboarding incident, the underage drinking, etc., taken out of the lawsuit. So immediately what that does is it takes away the I actually don't know legally about this. Never mind. I don't know about this legally, but I think that takes away the complaint to the labor portion of it, like the state of California. But I don't know if, since it's already been submitted, if it will get looked into regardless. So it depends on if the lawsuit was actually filed and it was actually filed to the state, I guess. But either way, he's taking that out of the lawsuit. So what that does is it brings it back to just a money contract issue. It just brings it just back to the business portion of it, which I think will make banks happy, because, the other stuff getting brought in made it a lot more personal. If we're just talking money, Turner wants out of this contract. This contract, if this is accurate information, Turner wants out of this, and he should. But in FaZe's defense, TFue was literally nothing, and I don't mean that disrespectfully. It's just in comparison to what he is now. TFue was nothing before this contract. So FaZe had all of the negotiating power, and there's people on Twitter trashing TFue, you know, like, oh, well, you should have thought about that before you signed and all this. Like they wouldn't have signed the same contract. You know, you're pulling 100 viewers, you know, you're pretty good. You know, we have people on Hype that are pulling 100 viewers every once in a while. And then let's just say they all of a sudden get great at a game, and all of a sudden FaZe is talking to them, and they're playing with Banks, and all of a sudden they want to sign a contract, and exponentially it's like, oh, they're going to take 50%, you know, but if I'm making 10 million a year all of a sudden instead of, you know, 100,000, I'm still making 5 mil. So yeah, let's do it, dude. If they can get me up to 10 mil, they could have half. I don't care. Like, you're not thinking about that. But now, you know, all of a sudden you're making money and people are coming to you, you know, not FaZe, they're coming to you. We want deals with you. And all of a sudden, in his defense, well, like, now, like, yeah, I'm TFue. I don't want to be, I don't want to be FaZe TFue anymore. You know, I'm successful because of me. And you start getting that impression that you start to believe, obviously, the success is because of you. And it's partly true. But it's also fair to say you would not be where you're at without FaZe. Fact. I wish I would hear him say that. Like, I wouldn't be where I'm at without FaZe, but the contract I have is trash. That's what I would like to... That might be kind of what he's saying, but I would like to hear him say, like, I understand I would not be in the position I'm in without FaZe. I also don't know what closed doors conversations have happened, so I'm sure that he has reached out to a different portion of the team, maybe not Banks as a person, which is why I think Banks is taking this so personally. Like, he could have just reached out to me, and maybe he thought he did, but I'm assuming he's reaching out to, like, a portion of FaZe that handles the contracts, and they're just like, no, we're not letting you out. You know, I'll show a screenshot right here of the discussion Banks was having on Twitter last night, because he made a few more tweets that basically said they offered TFue $1 million a year and taking 0% just to represent FaZe. So $1 million for 12 months. Every 12 months you're making $1 million, and we take 0% of anything. And they still wouldn't accept it. So what that leads me to believe is that TFue has very, very good, lucrative deals through these brands that he's getting denied on. That has to be the only case. There's no other reason that you would not sign something like that in a contract negotiation. So, I don't know. We'll see a bit more as stuff gets released. But apparently that's what the offer was on the table. $1 million per year for the final 2 years. FaZe taking 0%. The only thing required of TFue is to still represent FaZe Clan. That's it. So in order for him to just completely negate the idea of accepting that contract is odd. But the brand deals he's getting turned down for must be great if he is turning down $1 million a year just to represent FaZe as an organization. So that'll be interesting to see. I think the thing that people don't think about, the two things, and I've kind of touched on it a little bit in the past 2 videos, is to benefit FaZe in terms of the contract negotiations. They said they could take everything I pictured up there, and if it's accurate and honest information, they've only taken 60,000, so they haven't taken, you know, 1% of what they're allowed to take from TFue. But the negative thing about that is at any point during negotiations or at any point during this contract, they can take all that money. They've never received this money from TFue. So even during all of these conversations, it could be possible that FaZe could countersue for the money they've never received or taken. And that could be in excess of $5-10+ million. So I think that's why TFue wants this gone, and rightfully so, because at any point, you know, even though him and Banks are close, at any point, FaZe as an organization could be like, hey, we want that money now. Now that you're making $10 million, we want that 50%. Or this new brand deal you're going to sign, which is a $10 million deal over 5 years or something. I don't know. Obviously, we're not going to know exactly. Yeah, we want that $5 million. They could do that, which no, that wouldn't be fair for TFue. So I can see why he wants out of the contract, and I can see why FaZe wants to keep him in. regardless of what anyone says, if you're on TFue's side, FaZe made TFue what he is. And TFue is also literally invaluable and has completely outlived that awful contract he had. So there's points on each side. It's pointless to take a side at this point. They literally both have very good points. FaZe wants him on for the 3 years like they originally agreed to, but are willing to adjust percentages and money to make it worth it to live out the 3-year contract, which he did sign. So it's fair to say they want to collect on the name, on the brand, because they brought him there. They took a chance on him. If it didn't work out, you know, and they wasted money, then so be it. But, you know, they helped skyrocket him to where he is. So they deserve something. And TFue has completely just skyrocketed past what was reasonable for the first contract. So he deserves something as well. I don't know. Like, they just need to sit down and talk. They need to sit down and figure it out. This whole lawyer versus lawyer play out deal, all the lawyers, the one side of the lawyers are just looking like FaZe's lawyers are just going to look, hey, we could collect all this money and we haven't, so you should sign this contract. And TFue's lawyers are like, you know, putting pressure on with all these different, you know, allegations with the skateboard. They're trying to force FaZe into a situation where it's more reasonable just to release Turner, but I don't know if either side's going to do that. I think you need to have the lawyers sit down with banks, lawyers, agents, but then you just need to let the player and the org figure it out with agents and lawyers there as, you know, representatives or advisors. But, like, I think they just need to sit down and figure it out. I think that's how they figured it out in the first place, and I think that's how they need to figure it out now. I also feel like in the future, all contracts like this need to be public. Or freedom, like the freedom of information, to just have everybody have this information. It would protect everybody much better. Last bit of news, aside from all that, is Cloakzy I don't know if he's leaving FaZe. I don't know if there's an issue with him in FaZe right now. Like, not with him and Banks, but him and FaZe. He took all of his FaZe information out of his Instagram. I don't know if that's a play at helping Turner. I don't know if that's a play at helping negotiate. I don't know what his contract looks like, if it's ending soon. So that's also interesting. Complete side tidbit of information. But either way, it looks like they're not pursuing the personal allegations anymore in terms of skateboarding, underage drinking. He did shut that down, which I do respect. It still comes back down to the contract. It'll be interesting to see. So, all in all with the channel, guys, the channel does a lot better when we're doing commentary, getting you guys out the information, you know, talking about it. I'm very interested. I've always been very interested in the psychology of people on why they do things. I've also obviously always been interested in the business side and organizational side and where esports is heading. It's going to be getting very large. It's getting more mainstream literally every day. So a lot of my videos are going to be talking about this type of stuff. If you guys enjoyed this video, leave a like. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. You know, leave a comment down below. I give shout outs on a daily basis. I release videos every single day. They aren't normally all about FaZe, but that's what the past 3 have been. If you guys have anything you want me to talk about, touch on, if there's anything I missed from today's video, feel free to leave it in the comments. DM me on Twitter if you have information you want me to bring up, you want me to talk about, give my opinion on. But as always, I will see you guys in the video tomorrow. Have a good day, and I'll see you guys later. Okay, bye.